I'm ready.
Go.
Tell me one. Okay. Have you met the god of the gays? Have you seen the way she looks at us? As if there's nothing she is more proud of in the whole history of the entire world than the ways we have sex and pleasure and life outside of the Catholic's natural law, in the face of preachers who teach that we are a scourge. And despite the massive rejections and microaggressions of families who decided we didn't fit their Norman Rockwell, and so they told us to go. They told us to go, and so we went, slinking out the back door, cloaked in a coat of shame more brilliant than Joseph's coat of 1,000 colors, ears ringing and eyes stinging. From the mushroom cloud that shot towards the sky to mark the place, our hearts went to pieces, the moment we began believing we were sick, unworthy, and alone. We didn't know that mushroom cloud was a prayer, hightailing its way towards heaven, where the god of the gays was suited up and sliding down the fire pole on her way to the scene of the crime, loaded down with buckets of pride and a hose full of comfort, ready to chase us into the night, ready to chase us into the night, prepared to douse the flames of our shame at any cost. I need you to know this god of the gays. The center of her heart is tattooed with every name of every one of us who's ever died a gay death, of AIDS, of murder, of suicide, of self-destruction, of abusive Johns and hateful cops. The skin that those names are etched on stretches wider every year as the list grows longer, as the ledger grows longer. The grief inside of her heart swells bigger, and there is an ocean inside of her belly where she has captured all the tears. She hasn't missed a single one, and sometimes she floats there, remembering the moment she was with us when we passed, assuring that not one of our names will ever be forgotten. And for those of us still living, she is the marshal of every pride parade, the DJ at every club dance. She is grandmother matchmaker, informant of our gaydar. She gives us each other, tells us to be honest, to be kinky, to be sexy and sensuous, to live hard and play harder, and do it all with our heads up and our hearts out, no matter who slings what slurs in our direction. And those slurs get lodged in her memory too. She takes each one personally, like a knife to the gut, like an arrow to the soul, and it isn't her job to forgive and forget, and so she lets the wounds fester, lets them get infected and inflamed so they course through her veins like molten anger erupting out of her throat in a righteous cry for justice as she leads us into battle. I owe my life to the god of the gays. She never stops looking, even when everyone else has turned away. Even when everyone else has turned away, she scours alleyways and underpasses, searching for the pieces of self and soul and body that we've abandoned in the despair of being told our desire is disgusting. The god of the gays has taken every piece of every one of our broken selves, laid them out, painted them 100 shades of gold, and laid them out one after the other, so that no matter how dark the space we find ourselves in, we will always be able to find our way home to her down the path of that glowing, holy, yellow brick road.